Assalamu alaikum friends, welcome back to my channel Study with Shamal. So today we are going to discuss the War of Independence and its causes. The War of Independence started in 1857 and it ended in 1858, and these are the causes for the war. So in this question, in which we will be asked to give the causes of the War of Independence, we are supposed to give five reasons for the uprising of the war. I have mentioned those five reasons. First, political, social, economic, religious, and army. These are the five reasons which we are going to mention in our question, and we are going to develop it. So, I have also mentioned the development of these reasons, and let's discuss them one by one. First is the political. The British introduced the doctrine of lapse and doctrine of paramountcy. What was in the doctrine of lapse? It was that if a ruler did not have any real heirs, so his lands were taken by the British. And in the doctrine of paramountcy, if a ruler failed to rule his subjects properly, so the British were going to take his lands. This was just an excuse for the British to take the lands of the Indians. The third was Mughal emperor was exiled to Qutub Sahib. It was a more obscure place for the emperor to be sent because the emperor was a very like it was important figure for the Muslims. So these two led to resentment in Indians because their lands were grabbed by the British, and this led to resentment among Muslims because the Mughal emperor was a very important figure to them. Now let's discuss the social reason. The official language was changed by the British to from Persian to English, and this caused a resentment among Indians because they did not want anybody to change their language, and they had little knowledge regarding English. So how are they going to get jobs? That's why they did not have proper jobs because they had little knowledge regarding English. Then they were also granted no say in the government. British also introduced railways to which the Indians resented because they did not want anybody to change their lives. And education was changed, the medium of schools was changed to English, and this also again caused resentment and outraged the Muslims, particularly because they did not wanted Western culture to come into the schools and teach their children. So, particularly the in all these reasons, the Indians they opposed these reforms. Why? Because they did not want anybody to change their lives. And then the economic, the British they imposed very high taxes on the Indians. This caused like inflation, and they were not able to pay the taxes anymore because they were poor. Mainly the Muslims were poor, they were poor peasants, and then this caused famines because all their money, their salaries, they were gone in the British, and the British were exploiting the India's well to the full. And then the export of cotton from India was banned, which caused what is it called, unemployment, because a large population of Indians was employed in the cotton industry, and it was the major industry. And the export of cotton from India was a source of income for Indians. But when the British banned the export of cotton, so this it destroyed the cotton industry and it fell. And British brought their own goods and their own cotton to India so that the Indians can buy them and the British can get profit. So this caused this outraged the Indians because like the British were exploiting them. Then the religious issue. The British banned Parda, which was an important custom for the Muslims. They also banned the Sutti, which was Satti, sorry. It was the Indians' custom, and it was like a British intervention in the lives of Indians. They did not want anybody to change their customs, their traditions, and the religious study was also banned in schools. So probably this was going to outrage the Indians because religion was the most sensitive thing to them. And then the Christian missionaries, they also came to India so that they can convert the locals to Christians, and this outraged the Muslims and Hindus in particular. Also, another point which I forgot to mention, it was about the Greece cartage. This was a new weapon introduced by the British, in which it was to be cut off by the mouth, using the mouth. So it was then rumored that the grease was that the cartridge was filled with the fats of cows and pig, and we all know that cow is sacred to Hindus and pig is forbidden in Islam. So this outraged the Indian sepoys because they thought that British had done it intentionally. Well, it was just a rumor, so the war immediately began. Then the army, in the army, the sepoys who had lost their reach, they were always kept the Indians, while the officers were always the British, and they had no chances of promotion. Their salaries were kept very low, and like they were mainly poor, and they were also forced to send overseas while they were not willing to leave their motherland. So these are all the reasons. Then a conclusion is needed. So my conclusion will be that the religious was the most important reason for the uprising of the war, because religion was very sensitive to the Indians, and the, the reason which led to uh, immediate uprising of the war was the Greece Carthage region, which is directly involved in the religious factor. That's it for today. I hope you liked the video. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Bye bye.